Welcome back to Acrylics 101 Basics for Beginners. In this lesson, number 5, we're going to make a color chart using one of the colors and mixing it with all the other colors. We're going to explore the magical part of painting, which is mixing colors and seeing what colors come together and what happens with them. So grab your paint tools and let's get started making beautiful color charts. So now I've put out the Cadmium Yellow Light, and you can see that I'm putting it across the whole top of the sheet because I'm going to use those to add into each color. And again, like we did in the last chart when we did just value, like making it lighter, Cadmium Yellow Light starts at value 9, so you're just doing points in value 9 with this particular color. Now yellow ochre, I'm putting little dots so you can see the pure tone of what is going to be mixed. Yellow ochre is a value 6, so when you're adding it to a value 9, it's going to darken it down and bring it down to whatever value it ends up being. So I'm just mixing it so that it's halfway between, and then I take a little bit. Working with a small palette knife will be really helpful. It'll keep your puddles small. Take a little bit, add some more white. If you get too much white, you can just move it down and grab a little bit more. So add more white. It's better to be timid and add less white. And at the end, what we're going to do is we're going to take what's just on our palette knife. Now I'm going up because I can see that they're too dark, and I'm just taking what's on my palette knife from the color before and using it to lighten it up. So I'm going to take a little bit of this once I get it into a puddle now, and see I have just what's on my brush, my palette knife, and I'm adding white to create the lightest thing. I start from the bottom, and between I'm using a paper towel to clean my brush. I'm not cleaning it with water each time, just at the top when I finish the top part. And I clean my brush, and now I'm moving on to Alizarin. Now Alizarin is value 2. It is really dark. So remember that value 9 is where the Cad Yellow Light is. So I'm very careful about adding in too much Alizarin because it is so powerful compared to that light yellow. So I'm happy with this orange, and I come and I add white, and I add white, and I add white, and a little bit more white, a little bit more white, and then down I go. I'm putting it on, cleaning my brush in between. I'm not worried about having perfect value changes. This is about learning to create values and starting to see them. So now we're on Cad Red Medium, which is a very orange red. And so the orange will be a brighter, clear color here. And you can see I used a little bit of spritzing on it. I must have needed a little bit of extra water, I guess. Starting from the bottom, starting with the lightest colors, cleaning my brush in between with paper towel. And then there we go, Cadmium Red, Medium Red with Cadmium Yellow Light. Now we're on to Ultramarine Blue, creating very pretty greens. And just adding the white, being very timid, being very careful. It's easier to go back up and lighten it than it is to get it too light, and place it on the chart. Now it takes me about 45 minutes to do these charts, and so what I do is put a movie on, and I just have it in the background. It's not something I'm watching, I'm listening, and I can get 2 charts done in an average movie. So now we're moving on to Cerulean Blue. Cerulean Blue is not as dark as its value is a lot less dark, so it takes more Cerulean Blue to change it. And again, going back up because I didn't make it light enough on the first pass, and starting from the bottom, cleaning with my paper towel. It really does become a rhythm, and the more you do these charts, the more helpful they are. You have no idea how many times I've gone into my charts to see where is that color, because I can probably find 2 or 3 different ways to create that color. Permanent yellow light, I forgot to turn the camera back on. So now I'm going back up to lighten it, and I will come and put it on using my paper towel to take off most of the paint between, so that, and you can see that I'm not being perfect. You can be as perfect or non-perfect as you want. It does take patience when you're doing this kind of thing. So here's raw umber. Raw umber is actually a low chroma yellow, and you will use raw umber to change the value in your yellow and make it more appropriate for cadmium yellow light. It is the perfect value changer that you will use. So now we're going to add white. We're going to add white again. So we're again practicing our value. Every time we do this, we're practicing our palette knife skills. We're practicing teaching our eyes and our brain to recognize subtle values. And that's part of the really good thing about doing these color charts, is that you get more confident with your tools that you're working with. So here we are with the whole charts. You can see the whole thing and see what yellow raw umber and how the different greens are. To receive the handout for each of the lessons, head on over to my website, dancingravenstudio.ca. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next art video.